Hi, I'm Miss Koehler, and today I'm going to be reading Chapter 10, Stepping Up. When a call came for help, Ashley always had to act lightning fast. An animal was usually up for auction or scheduled to be euthanized. If she didn't get there in time, it would be too late and someone else would get to decide the animal's fate. That was the kind of risk that Ashley didn't want to take. And that was exactly why Ashley was currently driving 7 hours from West Grove, Pennsylvania to Niagara Falls, New York. She felt as if she was having deja vu. She was on a mission to rescue another 3-week-old dwarf horse. He was also born with legs that were bent, just like Pumpkin's. The farmer who owned him wanted to euthanize him, but a kind woman heard about the pony and called Ashley for help. The farmer agreed to give up the foal, but he wouldn't surrender the mother too. It always felt incredible to give an animal a second chance at life, but it didn't feel great to take such a young pony away from his mom. But Ashley didn't have any other choice. The miniature horse lived in Canada, and the woman who had saved him needed to get health papers in order for the little fowl to cross the border legally. She agreed to meet Ashley at the Canadian border for the pass-off, and when Ashley got this fowl home, he needed x-rays, blood work, splints, and braces. It would cost at least a few $1,000s. Ashley thought of the long journey she had already been through with Pumpkin, and it wasn't even over yet. Could she start the process all over again for this horse? Of course she could. It was always worth it in the end. All animals deserved the best life she could give them. The pony was a chocolate brown fowl with a jet black mane and tail. His ears were black too. Ashley settled him in the back of the SUV in a plastic kiddie pool filled with hay. His legs looked like Pumpkin's, and they were possibly even worse. Ashley's heart broke. She knew there was a long road ahead for this fowl, and it started with the drive to his new home. Every 2 hours along the drive back to Pennsylvania that night, Ashley stopped to bottle feed the little fowl. Both human and animal babies needed a lot of attention when they are so young. She had placed a large furry pink stuffed animal in the bed so the fowl wouldn't feel alone. He had just been separated from his mother for the first time in his life, and he was scared. For the last 2 hours of the car ride, Ashley's friend, who had ridden with her, climbed into the back of the SUV to comfort him. When Ashley peeked in her rearview mirror, she could see the tiny pony sleeping peacefully. When they arrived at the sanctuary, Ashley brought the fowl directly into her bedroom. There was no way he could sleep alone in a barn tonight. It had been a long 12-hour drive, and she knew the fowl would feel more secure sleeping inside near her. She couldn't even imagine what it would have been like for Deacon to be separated from her at such a young age. The next morning, the newest member of the sanctuary woke up, alert and bright. He had slept and eaten well, which was all you could ask for a new baby. Ashley discovered it was easier for him to drink from a bowl than to sip from a water bottle. Deacon couldn't wait to meet the fowl. He walked up to the fowl's bed, which was a pop-up tent with the pink stuffed animal inside. "What do you think his name is?" Ashley asked. Cucumber, Deacon said. "Cumber like a cucumber?" "Yeah, he's a cucumber," explained Deacon. "You're so funny," Ashley laughed out loud. Cucumber. It was a perfect name. Cumber gave Deacon something else to focus on besides missing Pumpkin. Pumpkin and Thea had returned home, but unfortunately it was only for a short time. Ashley was instructed to change the bandage on Pumpkin's leg every other day. But despite her following the veterinarian's orders, within just a couple days, Pumpkin's incision site had gotten infected. The veterinarians were concerned, so now Pumpkin was getting antibiotics at the hospital. Thea was there too. Deacon and Pumpkin had a very special bond, and Pumpkin was a huge part of the little boy's daily routine. He loved her so much. Each visit to the hospital was a little sad because even though it was exciting to see her, it was hard for him to leave his friend behind. But Cumber was the sweetest little baby. He was super spunky and loved to play outside, and he needed a ton of attention. Luckily, Deacon was happy to care for Cumber and spend time playing. The two became best buddies, and in no time, and thankfully, Ashley had been through this experience once before, so she had a clear plan for Cumber. But his case was much more severe than Pumpkin's. She could tell right away she'd picked him up, but the x-rays confirmed it. His legs were like rubber. They just didn't support him the way they were supposed to, and surgery would never be an option. Unfortunately, 8 joints were affected. Pumpkin had only 4 joints affected. It was as though Pumpkin were walking on her ankles. but for Cumber it was as though he were walking on his knees. Cumber wasn't intentionally bred to be a dwarf horse. It was just the case of a genetic chance, and both his parents were typical-sized horses. But they must have each carried a gene for dwarfism, and he had inherited the condition. Ashley would have to rely on the veterinarians and Derek for advice. Right now, Cumber was growing too fast for braces. Braces had to fit perfectly, and it just didn't make sense to spend money on something he'd grow out of so quickly. For the time being, Ashley focused on stepping in as a mother figure to the foal. He needed to be fed and cared for during the day and night. She hoped she and Deacon could provide enough love to replace the sense of loss he must feel for his mom. Although taking care of Pumpkin was a lot of work, Thea was always there to comfort the little fowl. It took some of the pressure off Ashley, but Ashley couldn't be there for Cumber all day and night as a real mother could. She had too many other animals to care of, as well as Deacon. "My heart breaks for you, Cumber," she said. The warm sun was shining, and the green ground was soft and fuzzy. It smelled wonderful outside. Cumber looked at the furry black thing that was staring at him. She was funny and big, and the lady called her Gia, a dog. She liked to lick Cumber and brush up against him. She was bigger than Cumber. She barked, and she reminded him of his mom a little bit. His mom was even bigger. He hadn't seen her in a while. There was another funny thing. That one had curly yellow hair. He was definitely not a horse. The lady called him Deacon. He was Cumber-sized. Cumber decided he liked Deacons more than he liked dogs. Overall, everyone was acting very nice. So far he liked it here, but he couldn't stop wondering, where was his mom? Would he ever see her again? It was as if the other animals knew Cumber needed extra support. Ashley's dog Gia stepped in. She liked to check in on Cumber and play with him, but Ashley, Deacon, Gia, and all the other animals at the sanctuary could never replace Cumber's mom. Cumber was as badly behaved as he was cute. Orphan fowls were tough to handle. Without a mom to teach him proper horse behavior, like the fact that biting is not okay, it was no wonder that he didn't know any better. Ashley couldn't blame him, and she had to admit that she loved his attitude and the fight she saw inside him. She did her best to teach him how to behave. In a perfect world, Cumber eventually would be able to hang out with other horses and join a herd, which is a family of horses. But they need to be horses of his own size, and he was so small. He was pumpkin-sized. He and Pumpkin would really hit it off. Ashley realized, perhaps Thea, Pumpkin, and Cumber could form their own herd. How amazing would that be? Sadly, it looked though Pumpkin would remain in the hospital until it was time for her second surgery. And she'd recover at the hospital before her third and final surgery, too. After that, there would be even more recovery time spent at the hospital. Originally, Ashley and the veterinarians thought Pumpkin and Thea could return home between each surgery. But when she returned to the vet after her infection, they decided that they didn't want to take any more risks. It was going to be expensive, but the surgeries had a better chance for success if the doctors could watch Pumpkin carefully. And if they could avoid any more infections, the fowl would be done with her surgeries that much sooner. Pumpkin and Thea would be staying at the hospital for quite some time now. Ashley knew it was the best decision for everyone. Someday, Cumber and Pumpkin would meet, and Mama Thea, who had so much love to give, would hopefully embrace Cumber too. It had to work, Ashley decided. Cumber desperately needed a family. Pumpkin is a miniature horse with dwarfism. When she was born, the joints in her legs didn't hold up her weight the way they should have, so walking was hard for her. And here's Pumpkin. Luckily, Pumpkin and her mom Thea ended up at Twist of Fate Farm and Sanctuary, where everyone is taken care of. Ashley carries Pumpkin to the car so she can be fitted for leg braces at the vet. Thea is always there to protect her baby, and she doesn't like to let Pumpkin out of her sight. Derek and Ashley put Pumpkin's braces on her for the very first time. Pumpkin's braces weren't perfect the first time, so Derek had to make some adjustments. In her new braces, Pumpkin can walk great. Everyone is excited to see Pumpkin walking with her new braces, including the other horses at the sanctuary. They come to watch Pumpkin, Thea, and Ashley on parade. Now Pumpkin and her mom can make new friends all over the sanctuary, like Lucy, another miniature horse. Now that Pumpkin can use her braces to walk better, there's nothing better than going for a walk in the sunshine. But Cumber, another dwarf mini-horse at Twist of Faith, prefers napping in the sun. Soon Pumpkin and Thea will be able to teach Cumber not to fall asleep while he's eating. Little Cumber makes new friends with lots of animals at the sanctuary. He especially likes to play with Ashley's pet dog, Gia.